Well, I think every country pursues its economic interests as a cornerstone of its foreign policy. And I've held that belief since I was foreign minister. When I arrived in this building, the first time I addressed the staff was to say that I thought that the Department of Foreign Affairs needed to be an economic portfolio and that economic policy had to be centered to what we were trying to do. I also think that economic strength is key to other forms of security. If you don't have prosperity, you're not going to be secure. If you don't have prosperity, you're not going to be influential in the world and the arrangements around it. There are really very few tools of actually implementing foreign policy. Most of them depend on prosperity as their foundation, whether it's foreign aid, whether it's defense, whether it's having an active and vibrant diplomatic corps. They all require the backing of a prosperous country. Well, first of all, I like to see Canadian corporations going global and succeeding in a global environment, because that's a pathway for Canadians, particularly young Canadians, to gain international experience. And I think that access to that kind of experience is what enriches us as a country. It enables our people to have a broader view of what is becoming an increasingly interconnected world. Now, does it do some good for, my aunt in Swift Current if RIM is successful in India? Probably not directly, but for my kids who might want to work for RIM and have an international experience, well, I think that could be really good. And so, I think in a globally interconnected world, we want to see our corporate players succeed as much as we want to see our artists and athletes succeed. Well, first of all, I think our banking regulations, and particularly some of the rules around how we financed housing in Canada, avoided the bubble that we saw in the United States. In addition, our banks retain most of their mortgages on their balance sheets, unlike occurred in the United States, because they were good assets. So I don't see any evidence of the kind of bubble that we saw growing in the United States. We have banks that are sound, that are rather little leveraged by comparison to some of their European and American counterparts, and those were some of the keys to why the crisis got so out of hand in the United States. So I think we can feel good about how we came through that, and I don't think that I see any sign of us falling into recession because of a housing bubble. I think that we've got risks to our economy. Most of those are emerging from the fact that our largest trading partner to the south still has a very weak recovery underway.